right, welcome everybody to the Future Lounge. Today we have a really nice project, a project that has been around for such a long time. We have HODL speaking today, and we have Adam on behalf of the team. Hello, Adam. Can you please introduce yourself and maybe your role into the team and further talk about the team?
Yeah, sure. So, it's Adam. I'm based in the UK. I've been with the project since pretty much the beginning, which goes back to May of 2021.
Well, that's
Yeah,
such a long time, especially here in the crypto space when we are used to projects that last around a month or two. Being around for approximately, wow, 4 years is it's really something good, something we are not used to see.
yeah. No, I know. I mean, I don't know what's going on recently, but I'm seeing projects that are getting a lot of attention, and people are saying, "Oh, this looks like a really promising project," and they're kind of pretty much cooked within days. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is quite unique, but yeah, I guess we have our reasons for that, and yeah, I'm sure we'll be touching on a few of those in this call.
Exactly. I would love to know what is the secret to such a long run for the project. Approximately 4 years is crazy, especially for the project that we are used to see in the space. So I think we can touch that subject a bit later on. But right now, I would love to hear about yourself and about the team quite a bit.
Yeah, sure. So I suppose the a good part of the reason why we're still here is because I've always believed that it takes time to build something really good, and we have a really big vision for this project, which we're still working on. There's so much we've achieved. We've distributed over 20,000 BNB, which is about $14 million of BNB since we launched, because it's a BNB reward token at its heart. But I've been building businesses in different industries for the last I think it's 18 years now, and it's always taken time. I've had a business that I was working on for about 12 years, another one for about 4 years. So I'm familiar with the fact that if you're trying to build, some really cool technology and a really cool business and product, it does take time. So I'm okay with that. I would rather spend, this kind of period of time building something great than just kind of launching tokens that don't really have anything else to them other than the kind of the name and this kind of copy paste contract. So yeah, it's been 4 years of building so far.
All right, I know that's quite exciting, especially if you have background in tech and in building stuff. I think it's really useful, especially in the space when everything is changing and different projects and ideas appear. So I would want to know, how did you guys come up with this idea of making HODL? Oh, and it seems like Adam is gone. That's our bot. 1 second. Yeah, it's really annoying. It happened to me a couple of times when I was here talking about different projects and that. Yeah, that's our bot, and you have to complete the captcha if you want to. And he's back. Hello, Adam.
Yeah, hi. Sorry,
Uh, so
I
make
got
sure
kicked
that you
out.
complete, yeah, you complete the captcha if you want to stay in, because the bot tends to do so and
Ah,
kick people.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, let me do that now.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, I think I've done that.
Okay, perfect. So right about when you caught up, I was asking, how did you guys come up with this idea? Because it's been a while since you guys launched it. So I also want to know how you making it relevant to the trend that comes nowadays.
Yeah. So I I've been building technology businesses since I started my career 18 years ago, and I built a number of businesses that were mainly to do with web-based technologies, digital marketing, different software as a service businesses. A couple of those were in the restaurant sector, and we had COVID come along in 20 was it early 2020, end of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and the businesses I was running at the time, I had about 20 staff, and we were running a nice little business, but I had to completely change what I was doing because all of the restaurants, it was a business that worked with restaurants up and down the country, and had like a technology platform, but all the restaurants closed, so overnight I had to shut the business, and lay off 20 staff. So it was awful. But off the back of that, I kind of looked at, well, what's next, and did some charity work for a while during COVID, and I kind of thought, at some point I'm going to have to kind of start another business or be involved in something and make some money. So I was seeing a lot of people making good money from crypto. Obviously, there's a lot of people that lose money in crypto as well. But I thought, oh, that's interesting. I want to have a look at that. I want to understand the industry a bit better. So I got into crypto as an investor in early 2021, and came across a number of projects. But the one that really caught my attention was this project, HODL. It launched in May 21, and the developer at the time did a good job really with the concept. It was one of the first, and it kind of set the wave for this kind of concept of earning while you hold, like a reward token. So I got involved as an investor when it launched, and after a few weeks, I'd sort of started supporting the team because it was all community ran. And that developer kind of eventually was looking to move on from the project, and I was one of several people involved that kind of effectively took over. And then a few months later, I was given the opportunity to take over from the CEO at that point, a guy called Jeff, and that was, I would say, about March or February 2022, and have been working on it full time ever since. So I got into it as an investor because I really thought, wow, this is an incredible concept and could be such a huge project, and I've got very big ambition for it. But I kind of did my hard work and supported the project and earned my kind of stripes with the project and with the team. And when the opportunity came along, I took it over because I thought, yeah, this project has huge potential.
I remember it basically in the same period, there was a lot of tokens like play to earn, walk to earn. I know that was like a meta at the time, and it's lovely to see that there are a couple of tokens that are still around because, I think I made a lot of money on a walk to earn token back in the day. And
No, okay, a
and
lot
I
of
think
walking. That's cool.
a lot of people who have been in the space for a while now and have caught the last bull market are really nostalgic to this idea of something to earn. So, why don't you talk to us about the changes that you guys have done? Because I assume that you guys have done a couple of changes, not only in the relaunch of the token, but also in a matter of rebranding, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, every aspect of the project has been completely rebuilt. At the time back in 2021 and towards the end of 2021, when it was the original developer who founded it, it was literally it was just the token where you would hold the token, and then there was taxes on every buy, sell, and transfer, and people are then able to collect their earnings from the BNB reward pool, which was built up from those taxes. And that was it. It was a great concept, great name, and it was paying out incredible sums of BNB. But since then, we've looked at what we can do beyond just transactional taxes, and the main thing really is that we've built this ecosystem around the token that's also adding more value and bringing in additional revenues, so that we're not solely reliant on transactional taxes and volume, because obviously in crypto and with different chains gaining different popularity at different times, I think it's risky just to rely on the volume, and that's where I think a lot of the reward tokens have failed, is by having such a reliance on solely the transactional taxes. And we've effectively spent the last 3.5 years since then building things on top of that, so we're not reliant on that, and we have these additional revenue streams to kind of create a really, really stable project that since May 21 hasn't stopped paying out rewards to its holders.
Yeah, I know. People and projects used to be a bit less complex by the time you guys launched in the first time in 2021, and now people want to see innovation, want to see more things. So having an ecosystem actually attracts more people, and it kind of caters to different needs. Some people want games, some people want NFTs, and so maybe you can walk us through all the things that you have in the ecosystem, because I know I kind of mentioned a couple of those before.
Yeah, so at its heart, we have this really innovative contract, and it really is very innovative. We've been able to develop it and put God knows how many hours into how the contract works. So since the original version, it's about 90% cheaper on network fees, for example, which is really valuable to people all around the world, where for them being able to make reward income from an investment as little as $10 is a game changer. So we've really optimized and improved the contract and added a series of features and innovations to increase the rewards the contract delivers, whilst also making it more optimized. So that's the first thing, in improving that kind of foundation, this reward token at its heart that pays out BNB rewards. And then, we've built 2 utility-rich NFT ranges. So we have HODL Hands NFTs, which is this very sort of iconic symbol of strength, unity, and resistance. That we saw Trump recently after he got shot, kind of pumping his fist in the air, and that's like the symbol of that NFT range. But we didn't want it to just be art. As nice as the art is, we've added utility. The key to this is that we have HODL token at the center. That's a BNB reward token. But once you come into the ecosystem, you have the HODL Hand NFTs, and you have 6 different play to earn games, and they all work together, which is a really big job. That your NFTs add value to the other parts of the ecosystem, and vice versa. That you can, for example, our mini games, when you're holding the NFTs, you're earning energy, which allows you to compete in the mini games. And by competing in the play to earn mini games, you're able to earn more of the HODL token. And then revenue from the NFTs, for example, we've sold over 4,000 HODL hands, and that's generated about $500,000 for the project, which we've been able to use for developing the project, marketing, and we've also put a lot of money into the reward pool. So there's that sort of revenue injection. So we've very consciously, and even more so recently when we relaunched as a stronger, more secure contract with a better supply, we very consciously have built things around it that work with it and enhance your experience of holding the token, and add value to the investor. And that's really the key, is that we've not just got the token, and then we've got something else that's separate. All of the elements of our ecosystem work together, and actually, if you're engaging with them all, you get a way better overall result. That's kind of the goal. And yeah, play to earn gaming and these utility rich NFTs are like the two kind of key products, I suppose, that we've brought in alongside the token.
Yeah, and everything links back to sustainability. And when you have people spending time and playing and being involved in the projects, that's how you make them love the community and so on. So, I want to know, what's the secret to keeping the community alive and bind it together? Because in such a long time, people can lose interest. And I know that you guys are bringing different things and utilities, and overall, you're trying to figure out how to get more value into the project and the token. So what is the secret for investors being active and so on?
I think really, the first thing is we've got a really good work ethic. So I feel that the community would support me in saying that they see that there's a team of people working really hard and are very passionate about the project. Since I've been involved in HODL, I've not worked on any other project. It's actually been my full-time kind of job to work solely on this project. So I'm doing sort of typically about 10 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, purely on this project. And I think that's the key, is that, I'm kind of leading this project, and I have to set the example. And the example I'm trying to set, and the reason why I think people are still committed and engaged, is you've got to work hard. You don't get anywhere in life and with a business unless you really put the hours in and the effort in. So I think that's the first thing. People can see the team's working really hard to build this project and is utterly committed to the project. We didn't slow down in the bear market or anything like that. If anything, we kind of like tried to push even harder. So I think that's the first thing. And then really just transparent and honest, communications. There's times when things go wrong, and we'll hold our hands up, and we'll even discuss that, because that's anybody who thinks that there aren't speed bumps along the way with building a project or building a business, is wrong. There's always going to be. So we communicate, any issues. We obviously, share updates on the things that the team are working on. And I think people appreciate that because, quite frankly, there's not that many projects where there's people working, full time and part time and coming home from their day jobs, like a lot of the people in our team do, and jumping on to building things for this project. So there's a lot of people, I think, who want that. They don't want to just be constantly jumping from token to token, because the problem with that is you only need 1 or 2 rugs and you've lost all your money. People want to be a part of a project that has a vision, and the people involved in that project are committed to that vision. They're articulating that vision. They're sharing updates as they go through the journey, but they're always turning up and working, and coming up with things that add value to that community and to the people that are holding the token and are a part of the project. So that's really kind of like how we've tried to do it so far, and will continue to.
Yeah, that's lovely. You just mentioned something, that people want something stable and not to go from rug to rug and keep trying new projects. And as an investor myself, I think I relate to that a lot, because I tend to stick up with the projects that show value over time, and not like a rapid growth, but but I don't have the certainty that they are gonna make it through the night. And I just love this business model, and the hours that you guys put in are showing in the chart and in the development of the project and the utilities. And I would want to know something about the games, because I saw a couple of games in your guys' Telegram, and maybe you can give us a run through all of the games that you have right now, and maybe you can share some insights if you want to improve on the games and add more in the future.
Yeah, sure. So we've the first thing we did is we created what we call mini games. It's a simple, fun, highly playable games that um, are based on a few classics. So we built a game, Solitaire, that kind of classic card game, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, we've made it. One of the goals for that is we wanted it to look better than all the other solitaires that are out there. So it looks really great. It's really fun, but at the end of the day, people who are playing it are able to earn HODL token, and you can either, if you want to compete to win HODL token, you can either invest into our NFTs, and that will give you energy, which you need to enter kind of the different levels of the game where you can win more. Or, if you aren't even invested into our project, you can come along and play to earn energy, and then when you've earned energy, you can go and play the games. So we've kept the gate open for everybody. We don't want to sort of say you can only play it if you're invested into the project. But obviously, if you do invest into the project, you're getting advantages, which seems sensible and fair. So that's all the games carry that principle, and we've created 5 mini games that are based on classics, and then we've come up with our own concepts as well, and we've tried to work really hard on their branding and how they look and feel and make them really fun and ultimately rewarding. So there are 5 mini games. We will add more in the future, I think, but the big focus for us now is we've spent about 2.5 years building a studio scale game that uses some of the latest gaming technology, so that every time you play it, you get a unique experience. And it's like you sort of flying along in a spaceship, kind of being attacked, and you've got to kind of take out your enemies and survive, so you've got to kind of hold on for dear life, which is the sort of acronym of HODL. And we've actually come up with this cool concept. So again, it's totally accessible to anyone and free to play. But if you buy our Gem Fighter, it's called our Gem Fighter NFTs, which are sort of 3D gemstone trading cards, you can then take them into the game and you can plug your gemstones into your spaceship, and then it gives you sort of more powerful attacks and defenses and spells, and all these things are kind of like tools and weapons really that you can use in the game that are sort of using NFTs. And the reason we did that is because I personally believe that that's where gaming's going to go, because at the moment kids are spending fortunes, buying add-ons in games, but as soon as you stop playing that game, those add-ons are worthless. They're kind of linked to your account and they sit in your account. So the way we're doing it is we're making it a free-to-play game, but if you buy the NFTs, which are only $35 each, you can trade them. Or if you decide one day, oh, I've enjoyed that game, but I'm not playing it much anymore, you're able to recoup some money, or you can stake them. So you're actually able to stake those NFTs to earn our HODL hands, which then kind of gives you the opportunity to play our mini games. So
yeah, no, that's actually really smart, because I've myself played Clash Royale for years. I think I have like 7 years of that game, and sometimes I used to splurge on getting the pass or getting more perks in the game. And right now I don't play it anymore. And I just thought someday, look how much money I've lost on this game.
yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting. Like I don't know what the total market is for that, but it's billions of dollars. Some
Oh,
of these games,
definitely.
like, the money involved in some of these games is just unbelievable. Roblox and all these, it's just massive. And I do think it seems very logical that we move away from, when I was a kid, you used to buy the discs, the cartridges. I'm old enough, so you used to like get actual cartridges and plug them into the console and play the game. And we're kind of going through this evolution. And I think, we will reach a point where gaming is a bit like Netflix. You can go and play any game you want, and the way the people who make these games are making their money is by people buying the add-ons. So it then becomes very logical to think, well, with these add-ons, could there not be a sort of a value to them? Like if you purchase an add-on and it's particularly rare, but you stop playing the game. Well, that it's sort of like a dead asset. So we kind of are looking at, effectively, we've built this massive game, Gem Fighter, and it's absolutely incredible. It's taken 2.5 years to build it, and the guy who's building it is one of the best game developers on the planet. And our approach to it is that the money you invest into playing this game, you could potentially be making profit just on your direct investment, because you're able to, you're minting these NFTs. You don't know which gemstone you're going to mint and how it's going to help you perform in that game. But if you mint one of these, a really rare gemstone, then you could make like a huge return, because somebody else will want that. Because at the end of the day, a large chunk of all the revenues from these NFTs is going to be given back to everybody playing the game in the form of HODL token. And that brings a massive benefit to HODL, because we're using that revenue to buy back the tokens. So you have this kind of like ecosystem going on, but you're effectively creating a free-to-play game with in-game assets in a sort of more traditional sense, that you can trade them or leverage them. And we're even looking at things like whether people who might have the NFTs and the gemstones, they may not want to play the game. So we're looking at things like, well, could they actually rent their NFTs? Could you rent your
I was actually thinking of a question related to this. So can people sell their NFTs just like they would with a normal one?
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's just a token. An NFT is effectively a token that is linked to, something visual, effectively. So yeah, there's absolutely no reason you can't. And also, because of that, we can add additional utility. So with the Gem Fighter NFTs, you can stake those and they will earn you HODL hands, and then that opens up more gaming possibilities and chances to win HODL token, because you can enter and compete in the mini games by earning the HODL hands by staking your Gem Fighter NFT. So that's like an additional thing that you can do with them. But yeah, at their core, they're NFTs, so you can trade them on the marketplace. We're going to build a little swap system into our platform where people can kind of like sell them, and we're looking at, can people even, rent them? So if I'm lucky enough to sort of mint a really rare Gem Fighter NFT, and it's got like a really powerful gemstone that gives me like a really powerful attack in the game, then there might be somebody out there thinking, wow, I could win a big amount of HODL by competing in this game. So actually that person might be willing to kind of, invest into renting NFTs off a player who's maybe not a gamer themselves or not playing, or, it's kind of adding value. And if you think about it, it's just like, imagine if you get like a really rare, or you spend a lot of money on a really rare asset in like Call of Duty or whatever game people can think of. Wouldn't it be cool if you could then sort of make some money by renting those out when you're not playing? So we're looking at that, how people can kind of perpetually find ways of making money from sort of everything involved in our ecosystem whilst they're holding it.
Yeah, that's actually good. Like you said, not everybody is a gamer, so they could actually profit from that as well. I like this revenue model, and the fact that you can earn from everything in this ecosystem. So you don't have to do everything to win, but you can do everything that you like. And that's something smart, because a lot of token kind of push people to do different interactions, like play that, follow this, leave a comment in order to win. But this is like a bit more user friendly, and you guys allow the users to do what they want within the ecosystem. And, I love that. And I would want to know something about the tokenomics and, the taxes that you guys have in place for all these activities that the users can do within the ecosystem.
Yeah, so the NFTs and the games, they don't have any taxes or anything. You just play those and then can enjoy those, and you can earn HODL token with those, and we're using revenues to sort of support the reward pool and grow the reward pool for HODL token and buy back HODL token, so it's contributing to the price. With HODL token, that's where you have the taxes, and We massively streamlined that. So it used to be a 10% tax in V1, sort of in 2021. And 3% of that went to the BNB reward pool. And then there was some money going to marketing, liquidity, team, and things like that. But we've streamlined it to, instead of 10%, it's now just 5%. And all of that 5% goes to the BNB reward pool. So how it works is if you own 1% of all of the investor held tokens, so you will get basically 1% of the BNB that's in the reward pool, and you're able to collect your share every 7 days. So we've really kind of simplified that, and that works on a 5% tax that's on. So if you buy the token, transfer the token, or sell the token, 5% of the tokens which you're buying, selling, or transferring get held by the contract. So they're not accessible to anyone. You know, they are stored on the contract, which nobody can touch or mess about with. And then we built this dynamic reward bot that will actually convert some of those tokens that are in the reward pool, those HODL tokens, into BNB. But we made a lot of changes recently with our relaunch, whereby it's that reward bot, when it's deciding, you know, when to swap tokens, it's looking at various indicators like a human would, you know. So it's looking at the price performance of the token, it's looking at the current BNB reward pool, it's looking at how quickly it's depleting the amount of tokens that it's storing, so it's not over depleting. And then it determines from that, within a range up to 1.5%, to sort of convert those tokens into BNB rewards. So it's like intelligently looking at the sort of the variables involved in the token's price and performance and the reward pool to determine, you know, the best possible time and amount of tokens to convert into BNB. And that's really powerful when, you know, so if BNB price shoots up and our liquidity pool shoots up, which causes our price to shoot up, it may look to sell a little bit more than, say, if it's going the other direction. Or if we've had like negative percent, you know, decreases in our price, it's going to naturally look to sell less HODL and convert it into BNB than if, say, the price is shooting up. Equally, if we have an explosion like we had in V1, where we reached that point of critical mass and, you know, HODL was everywhere and it was on number one on CMC and the reward pool was blowing up, it's going to look to really capture and convert more of these tokens in the reward pool into BNB than, say, when the volume's lower. And that's huge because, you know, we saw like an absolute explosion in V1, but the way it worked then, it was all static. So the reward pool wasn't growing as quick as anywhere near as quick as the price was. And that's the big difference, you know. So when we kind of when we're properly in the bull run and BNB's sort of shooting up and retail's flooding into the space and our price is blowing up, it's going to be more generously contributing to the reward pool than it previously did. So there's an intelligence to how our system generates rewards, so that it's kind of maximizing the rewards whilst making sure that it's supporting the chart.
Yeah, so basically taking the example of BNB that went down a couple of days ago, I assume there is AI included in this new mechanism that you guys have, right?
So AI.
Yeah, because you talked about how it's gonna look at different indicators like the price of the token, the price of BNB, and the price of everything, and kind of do its own judgment in order to do the best for the token and for the So I assume there is AI included in these kind of calculations, right?
No, there's not, because it's all built into the contract. So it's all logical conditioning. Um,
Oh, okay. Now I got it. Yeah.
but how it works is effectively you had so we hold on the contract the HODL tokens alongside the BNB that's in the and that is your reward pool. It's basically the BNB and the HODL tokens that are on the HODL contract. That's effectively the reward pool in its location. And then the way the dynamic reward bot works is that it has parameters, so it can sell up to 1.5% of the tokens that are in storage on the contract in that reward pool, up to 1.5%. But it dynamically adjusts that percentage value based on those three conditions. Condition one is the price performance. So I think we've attributed something like, I'm going to just use round numbers because I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But say of that 1.5%, it can sell at max and convert into BNB rewards. It will sell, say, 0.5% depending on the price performance. So if the price is over 30% up in 24 hours, it will be the full 0.5%. If it's, say, 20% up, it might be, say, 0.4%. If it's at 0%, it might sell 0.25%. If it's at minus 10%, it might sell 0.2%. So that's the first element. And then it adds that to the second element, which is we have a target for the reward pool. So if what's in the reward pool is below the target, it will be slightly more aggressive in terms of the percentages that it's attributing to that condition. So if it's way below the target, it might sell 0.5% relating to that. If it's above the target, it might drop to anything as low as 0.1%. And then the third one is the sustainability element, really. So you have an amount of tokens that are in the reward pool, and what it's looking at is when it comes to convert tokens to BNB, is the balance of the tokens in the reward pool continually dropping? You know, if that token balance has dropped the last 3 times it converted tokens in a reward pool into BNB, then it will sell a little bit less. If the token balance in the reward pool keeps rising, then it will sell a bit more. And you know, so it's looking at these things all within the smart contract. So there's no third-party software or no potential manipulation from anybody, because it's all built into the smart contract, and you can see it, you know, it actually in the code. It's then adding up these kind of sensible elements that we would look at if we were, say, running it manually. If I was sat there looking at the chart, looking at the reward pool, looking at, you know, the sustainability of how many tokens we've got in the reward pool, I would be making those kind of decisions in my mind. But instead, we've built it directly into the smart contract. So our system will actually swap those tokens based on those factors, and then each of those factors has like a scale, a percentage scale, and then it adds that up, makes the conversion, and you know, that kind of works really well. You know, it sort of is all very sensible. It's kind of like I say, it comes from how we would do it if we were sat there doing it ourselves, but obviously that wouldn't be a good way to do it, because A, we can't be sat looking at these things 24/7, 365, and B, you know, it's decentralized. You know, it's built into the code, so it's not subject to third-party software or a reliance on people. You know, it's coded in.
All right, I get it. And I assume there is an audit for the contract because it's this complex, and because we kind of touched that subject, we can move on to the security measures that you guys have in place.
Yeah. So we had 2 audits done, and we worked really close with those teams. We actually kept spending more money with them because they were giving us some great ideas. You know, our goal when we had the audits, we had an audit done with Cyberscope, which is a very good auditors. And one of the other benefits of having your contract audited by Cyberscope is that your audit actually is then listed on CoinMarketCap. So it boosts your rating, but it also gives investor confidence. So Cyberscope was a good option for us. And we worked closely with them for about 2 months, working on ideas about how we can kind of, basically perfect security and make the contract really secure. So they've given us an audit, which we've published and you can access through hodltoken.net. And, we kind of promote the audit across our different channels. They gave us like a perfect audit in terms of like, we went through a process when they said, oh, these things maybe could be improved, and we were able to just keep working on them until we reached a point when that list was completed. They're looking at the contract saying, yeah, it's really well structured, it's well commented, it's optimized, it uses all of the kind of correct standards, it's secure, and the audit, shows that there's no issues in the audit. And then we kind of thought, well, that's great, but let's be smart here, and we had a second audit done as well, just so we had a separate team look at it as well, and that audit came back flawless. So that kind of gave us the confidence that we've basically gone through that process and then had another team look as well. So that's the first thing, is kind of like making sure that your smart contract is as secure as it can be. But we've done a lot as well to kind of add more layers of protection, which I don't really think are included in a lot of projects. So we have multi-signature. So what that means is that if we want to change one of the parameters on the contract, so for example, if we want to change the maximum percentage of the reward tokens that it can swap for BNB rewards, I mentioned earlier on that was 1.5% currently. If we feel that actually that needs to be a slightly lower number for whatever reason, because it's looking at the sustainability, if we want to make that change, it requires multiple people to sign for it. So that prevents a scenario where, let's say, a third party, a hacker, a scammer or whatever, got access to a wallet that is the owner of the contract. They can make changes, but with our contract, we have multiple owners that have to kind of sign together within a period of, I think it's 60 seconds, for any changes to get made or basically have any access to the contract. So multi-signatory control is very powerful, because basically you're then getting multiple people are having to agree and sign together for anything to be done with the contract, which is great in a possible scenario where a third party could gain access to the contract. So that was the first thing, is multi-sig. And then the thing that we've done with the contract is we've every single wallet that either holds tokens relating to the project or is a contract owner, we've set them up using hardware wallets. And actually the way those hardware wallets work is they generate your private keys offline. So the private keys related to all wallets that the team controls and I control and have any funds in or any tokens in or any form of ownership, admin control, etc. of the contract, all of those have been generated in hardware wallets. So the private key has never been exposed to the internet or any form of network. It's been generated offline in a non-connected device, and then we store the private keys on metal ciphers, which are kind of like, you can put the private key on these metal boards, and then we have them stored in vaults. So the private keys that could access our contract or access any of the funds relating to our contract have never touched the internet, have been generated offline. They require a hardware wallet for signing. And then with, say, contract controls and stuff, you need multiple individuals to collectively sign. So it gives it like an even higher level of security. And then, as I mentioned, we've got all the audits and everything else.
All right, thank you. And we are running a bit late, but I still have a question in regards of marketing. So if you have a bit of time to explain us what you guys are doing in regards of marketing, like what is your approach, and then we can move on to the community questions, because I see our community has already asked us a couple of questions in the chat.
Yeah, so I think, you have to be careful when you run a crypto project that you don't spend all of your money on marketing and none on the actual ecosystem and the technology, because if you stop spending, what are 99 times out of 100 unsustainable amounts of money on influencers or billboards and all this kind of stuff, the moment you're not able to kind of still spend, those tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, these projects tend to die. So
Yeah, and the influencer industry right now is really, really bad, especially in crypto, and less followers, less true followers, and it's overall horrible. So that's why I'm looking to learn what is your sustainable approach in this. Because like you said, you can spend money, you can have results, but in the minute that you are stopping this, you are not getting
yeah,
any more flow into the
yeah. So
token. Yeah.
I think, our mindset on that is that we have to build something of value, the technology, the system, the product, the brand. These things have to carry value, and we've done that through the games, the NFTs, the way the system works, the transparency, and how we operate, and update our community, so that there's inherent value in what we've built. That was really the first thing, invest into that, spend time doing that. And beyond that, we've been very good at digital marketing, which is something, I've got a big background in. I've built digital marketing businesses, so we do a lot of digital marketing and know how to kind of get huge visibility on social media, and we're on all of them, regularly updating, advertising on platforms where you're able to target specific audiences and people interested in crypto, or running adverts targeting people who visit your website who maybe are thinking about, investing, but go away and don't invest and then forget about you. We're able to kind of contact them. So those kind of marketing methods, I think, are sort of key and sustainable and very good value. And then now that we're hopefully, because I don't know what's going on with the market at the moment, but, hopefully we're heading towards a bull run and a big explosion in the space. And we're sort of moving into that kind of upward trajectory within the market, throughout 2025. We have brought in and very, very carefully selected, bringing in people who are influential in the space and who have a voice and who have a genuine audience and who are real and decent people. So a good example of that is El Jaboom. So El Jaboom is like he's been in the space a long time and has well over 1 million followers in the space, and is, has great relationships with people who kind of are heavily involved in moving this industry forward, and very good relationships with the people at Binance and BNB. So, he was somebody that we thought would be great at helping spread the message. So we've started to cherry pick and bring in genuinely influential people who we think will be great for the project, and there's a good fit, and that they're holders, and that they see the vision and they see what we've built. So you have that mix of sustainable digital marketing and good social media and regular updates with the community, and as a byproduct, word of mouth, because you've actually created something of value. And we're now layering on top of that, working with people who have good reach and good influence in the space. And this guy, for example, he's doxed. He's out there meeting people and doing videos and stuff. So we're trying to balance these things. What I'm seeing at the moment is projects will launch and they'll give Coles loads of tokens, and they'll throw money at marketing, and they'll hope that it kind of moons. But if it doesn't moon and go to like 200, 500, or even 1 billion market cap, it just comes crashing straight back down because the influencers start dumping. They can't sustain, those levels of marketing, and they're very rarely, if ever, genuinely bringing like a return on the investment. So there's like a shelf life, and these projects die, but enough money's made by these projects to then sort of start the next one. Whereas the thing we're trying to do here is build an ecosystem and a load of technology that has value, first and foremost, and then we're trying to deliver a lot of that marketing in-house. So we're not spending fortunes with third parties that don't have the same passion or understanding as the project, and then layering on top of that, working with a handful of really powerful, influential individuals in the space. And the other thing that we're kind of currently working on is actually talking to the BNB team, the Binance Smart Chain team, because we've earned the right to kind of be able to say to them, look, we're committed to the chain. We've worked hard on building on the chain, and we have a long history, and we plan to be here for the rest of the time. So can you support us? So that's really kind of our approach, and it's that plus the fact that we've built these other revenue streams and these other products and utilities is why nearly 4 years later, we're still going and still paying out rewards. People at the moment are getting about 33% APR in their BNB reward claims. So if you invest $1,000 into HODL, currently you are going to get 330 back within a year just in BNB rewards. So that's pretty big, and I think that's going to be that will grow. When actually the Binance Smart Chain starts to take off again, because obviously there's been a lot of meta around Solana and a lot of interest in Solana, but these things come and go. So even at this point, when BNB is not back to the levels we know it can be at, bearing in mind, it's backed by the most powerful exchange on the planet with a ton of money behind it, we're still seeing strong APRs that are making it easy for anybody to hold our token and get some reward, and work together to build the reputation and the brand and reach new people, because they're incentivized to hold. There's a reason to hold. They don't have to sell their tokens to be earning. And that, for me, is why I believe this project has a huge future, because it's quite unique and quite innovative. And what we're trying to do as a team is build it and build it and build it up to a point of critical mass. We'll head into a bull run, the chain will start heating up, and these things will just, will snowball, because you're going to get people going, well, I can put some money into this project. It's got a good history. It's secure. The team is there. We can see them. They're committed, and I'm getting good APRs just on rewards. And what's going to happen, like in the last bull run, is that the reward pool grows. That pulls more people in. That pulling more people in causes the price to go up. That causes the reward pool to go up. So it just becomes this sort of explosive cycle of the reward pool and the price exploding. And I think everybody who stayed with us through this journey is there for that. They kind of are looking to be there when we approach that kind of critical mass. But even in the quieter times, people are making some really healthy returns just on the rewards alone.
Thank you so much, Adam. Yeah, I know that people have been waiting for so long for a bull run to finally show up. So we are going to see different things in a couple of months when we are going to get a bit more busier. So that would kind of wrap all the questions I have. So we can move on to the questions from the community. Sadly, I'm going to keep you a few more minutes past our designated time, but we do have some really interesting questions over here. So we have Space asking, what measures prevent the bot from depleting reserves too quickly, particularly if there is a sudden spike in the rewards claim?
So it's a good question. So I mentioned that, the actual generation of rewards is based on a series of variables that take into account price performance. It also takes into account what we call token decay. So the number of tokens that are in the reward pool, if the system is seeing that balance continually lower, then it will lower how much it's converting into BNB to build that back up. So the sustainability, first off, within how it's generating the rewards. Then when it comes to the BNB reward pool itself, one of the big problems with the original token is that 100% of the BNB that was in the reward pool could be claimed, like every time, every cycle that the claims became available. So at that point, you're able to claim rewards every 24 hours, and 100% of the funds that were in the BNB pool could be taken out. And that caused, huge spikes. And then you kind of invariably will go on a downward slope, because if the BNB pool reward starts lowering, then there's less buy pressure for the token, which causes it to lower further because it's not creating rewards. So the solution we came up to with that is that we have like a more linear distribution model. So when it comes to people claiming rewards, they're not able to claim from 100% of the funds are in the pool. We basically have a cap. And the reason for that is because at the moment that cap is set to 15 BNB, and there's 135 or 130 BNB in the pool. So what's going on there is people are getting, healthy rewards against that 15 BNB that we've capped, and we can adjust that cap as it grows. But we've already built up 8 weeks of rewards for them to claim after that, which is basically your 8 times 15 BNB, which is the cap. So what that effectively is doing is it's paying you out your rewards over a longer period of time, rather than it's just, I kind of use the analogy like we don't go out to work and get paid at the end of the day and then spend the money you've earned from that day on that day, go to work tomorrow and repeat the process. You kind of have to have a bit of stability in how you kind of bring in income. And we've done that with how the contract works by using a capping, so that it's creating a reserve pool as well. So you're going to get that money, but we're not just dishing it out 100% every day. So reward capping and being able to raise that cap as long as you've got like a backlog of BNB that's built up is how we're now operating. And it's incredibly stable, but it also means that we can build up that BNB reward pool. So at the moment there's 130 BNB, and that's been built up since we relaunched and improved the contract in December, and I'm hoping that during the bull one we can get into the thousands of BNB, but people are going to be able to claim their rewards over a period of weeks and months, because of how we've developed this sort of smart contract and technology.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. I do have one more question from the chat. It's still about the rewards, and it's something like this. If someone holds a large amount of HODL tokens but doesn't claim their rewards frequently, does their share of the pool decrease over time compared to the active claimers? I mean, is there any advantage of claiming more frequently rather than claiming, let's say, once a month?
So the way it works is you can claim your BNB rewards every 7 days. So if you were to say make your first purchase of HODL token today, and let's say, just to make the numbers easy, you bought 1% of the tokens in the project, then you would be able to claim 1% of the available BNB reward pool. And it's on a timer. So if I purchase today, then my first claim will be in 7 days from the point of your purchase. So in 7 days from buying today, I'll be able to go and collect my first reward. Now, if you don't, and then when you do claim, it then resets, and your next claim is in 7 days from there. So if you want to maximize the amount of BNB rewards you're earning, you need to come along and collect your rewards when they become available. And we've built an app, which we're just updating for the new contract, that will send you an alert to say your BNB rewards are ready to collect. So it makes it kind of like nice and easy. But it opens up benefits doing it like that, because people come along every 7 days and collect their reward, and they're able to reinvest it. So if you reinvest into HODL, it puts the buy on the chart, and the HODL you get from reinvestment is tax free. So you're getting 5% more HODL for free. You also could do a split. So you could say, right, I want to take half my money in BNB and half my money in HODL tax free. If you reinvest 100%, if you say, I want to take all my BNB reward this week, let's say it's $100 of BNB, and I want to reinvest it into HODL, you'll get that HODL tax free, but you'll also get the bonus of being able to claim a day earlier next time if you reinvest 100%. So you've got options, you know, and the goal and the vision we've got is that in the future, we're going to sort of allow people to make claims in other tokens and coins. So for somebody who, say, isn't able to sit staring at charts all day, but they want somewhere secure and stable to invest into, they can invest into HODL, and they could say, right, well, I want to come along every 7 days, and this week I'm going to collect some BNB. Next week, they might collect some HODL. The week after that, they might want to collect some Bitcoin. The week after that, they might want to collect some Ethereum. You know, so it's giving you that reward income as you're holding. But we want to kind of work on ideas about expanding it so that it can be, you can start earning, you know, other currencies. And actually, you know, when the contract relaunched in December, I purchased more HODL myself, and actually I split it into 2 wallets. And one of the wallets, you know, I'm claiming BNB, and then I'm purchasing Tron, for example. So for me, it's kind of like I've invested into HODL with my own money, you know, and put the buy on the chart, but it's actually, you know, giving me my BNB rewards, and then I'm using those rewards to purchase other coins to kind of expand my kind of portfolio of holdings. So that for me is kind of like where we're going, is that, you know, we want to be the go-to project to invest into if you want sustainable reward income as you hold, but to give a ton of options so that you might have somebody that, you know, wants to start acquiring a bit of Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything they want as they go along.
All right, thank you so much. So it's pretty much up to the user. So what they want to do, they can do within the ecosystem, just like we talked about the utility or the several tasks that they can do within the ecosystem. So with that, I think we can wrap up. I know that we haven't asked and answered all the questions that we have from our chat, but guys, I just want to remind you that they have a group. You have all the links in the pinned messages right here on our channel. So you can always join up and ask the questions right there. And for the last minute, Adam, I would want you to kind of leave us a couple of thoughts on how today was like, or maybe you have something to add on, and always remind people where they can find you, like Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias that you guys might have.
Yeah, so visit hodltoken.net, and we've worked very hard to ensure that all of the information's there. You can see our white paper, our roadmap, learn about our security, all the features involved, claim your rewards, play our games. Everything is on hodltoken.net. And it also has the links to all of our social media channels and the contract addresses and everything. So that's hodltoken.net. Join our Telegram group as well. So again, if you visit the hodltoken.net website, you'll see the Telegram link. The reason I suggest you join our Telegram, and I can put a link in the group, is that we're always in there. Everybody in the team is in that Telegram, and we're always there and available to answer any questions, and we'll talk to the community and give regular updates. So if you want to kind of engage the team and talk to us and learn about what we're doing and and ask us questions. Our Telegram channel is the best place to be. But all of this stuff, all of the information about the project, its benefits, its features, everything you need is on hodltoken.net. And yeah, I just think I want to say, you know, my personal feeling and my personal kind of objective with this project is I don't want to be 100 project person. You know, I don't want to just launch contracts in crypto because it's not adding any value to the space. You know, what we're trying to do with HODL is actually create the ultimate reward income project. You know, the best project in crypto when it comes to earning as you go. It's not just about buying it for a price and then selling it and hoping you make a profit. You know, you're making money every day while you're involved in the project. And we want to be the absolute leader in the entire space for that principle. So if that's something that, you know, you like the sound of, then, you know, check us out, get to meet the team, look at the website and learn about us, because I truly believe people are getting sick of pump and dumps. You know, people are wanting to find something more stable. And if you can be earning just by holding, then that's a really amazing thing. And you know, we're committed to building the best possible project with those plans in mind.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for another lovely AMA. And with that, we are going to end our session. And I wish you guys a great day or night, whenever you are. So bye bye. And good luck, guys.
Thank you all. Cheers.